Here are my top 5 things every parent needs to know about illicit fentanyl. Number 1, you need to know what it looks like. Illicit fentanyl coming into San Diego County is primarily found in a white, chunky powder and also in counterfeit pills. These counterfeit pills are made to look like legitimate medication, like your OxyContins, your Percocets. They're so good that they look exactly like the medicine you would get from a pharmacy. 2, you need to know that fentanyl is now being sold online, often on social media apps like Snapchat, Instagram, and Facebook, where dealers are claiming that what they're selling is 100% legitimate and that it's real and it can actually be delivered right to your child's home. 3, you need to know what a drug dealer looks like, and that might sound funny. You might have an idea in your head right now of what drug dealers look like. Maybe you're thinking they're the guy in the fancy car with a gold chain, tattoos, big wad of money, and that's probably because you've seen those guys in the movies, you've seen them on television. But what you need to know is drug dealers, oftentimes nowadays, they look just like your son or daughter. They go to the same school, they're in the same classes, they're involved in the same activities. They may even be your son or daughter's close friend, and they may not have any intention of harming your son or daughter, but they're providing a pill that contains fentanyl often. Sometimes they're completely unaware that what they are providing to your son or daughter contains fentanyl. 4, it's important for you to know what a fentanyl overdose looks like. This is not only for you parents, but also for any of you who are users, any of you kids that attend parties where drugs are being used. This is incredibly important for you to know. So fentanyl is a respiratory depressant. What that means is it slows down your breathing. It can slow it, make your breathing erratic, it can stop your breathing altogether. So someone who's experiencing a fentanyl overdose, their body's going to be limp. They're going to be unresponsive. And because they're having that trouble breathing, you may hear what is often described as a loud, exaggerated snore. The investigators who investigate these overdose deaths, they call that the death rattle. That's the body struggling to get oxygen. And related to that, you may see your lips or the fingertips of a person experiencing an overdose can turn blue if they're light-skinned, can turn gray if they're dark-skinned. That's showing that there's a lack of oxygen in the body. Another thing to look for is the pupils of their eyes. With a fentanyl overdose, those pupils will constrict into pinpoints. That's a sure sign that they are now suffering from an overdose. Number 5, you need to know, what do I do? You are now with someone that's experiencing a fentanyl overdose. The first thing you need to do is make sure that's actually what's happening. So try and get their attention. Try and arouse them. Yell something. I've heard some people say that you can yell something shocking like, "The police are here." Something that's going to shock them into some sort of response that will tell you that they may be feeling the effects of the drug, but it's not an overdose at that point. If they don't respond to the yelling, you can do what you may have seen medics do often, and they take the knuckles of their hands and they'll rub it forcefully on the sternum. It's incredibly uncomfortable, painful, but that can get a response. If there's no response to the yelling, there's no response to the sternum rub, then you need to call 911. You need to tell the operator that you're dealing with someone who you suspect is suffering from an overdose. Tell them that they're unresponsive. Tell them that they're not breathing. The 911 operators are trained to then guide you through your next steps. If you have Narcan, naloxone is the name, Narcan is the trade name, but what that is a drug that can actually reverse the effects of an opioid overdose. Just read the instructions on the box and administer the Narcan. Most often now, when you have it, it's going to be in a plunger type device that just goes right inside the nose. You plunge it all, and then you wait. It might take a minute, up to 2 minutes before the Narcan goes into effect. But what that Narcan is doing is actually knocking the fentanyl off of the opioid receptors in the brain. It can actually reverse the effects of the overdose. It's the best thing, the best tool we have right now to save lives for people who are experiencing a drug overdose.